Okay, June TBR time. We have so many things to talk about and I just want to dive in. We're maybe starting monthly TBRs again on here. We'll see how I stick to this one and how it goes. But welcome to the video. Let's talk about some of my reading plans for June. And there's a lot. So today we're going to talk about a few books I need to read for book clubs, the 2 readathons I'm taking part in, and a little bit more about a reading challenge that I'm doing as well. And we're just going to start immediately off the bat by talking about the readathons I'm doing. So during the month of June, I'm participating in the Amazing Readathon and the Tarot Readathon. So for these, we're going to pick out a few books that very specifically will be able to go towards the prompts, and I'm definitely going to be reading more, but we have some specific things to do. So the Amazing Readathon, it's hosted by Bree from 4 Paws in a Book, and it takes place every year. I participate in it every year, but it is basically an Amazing Race themed readathon. This year it is taking place in a Doctor Who inspired world where we're basically traveling to different planets, and we have different reading prompts based on each leg of this competition we go through. We have been given the prompts for the 8 legs that we'll be doing, and we don't know what order they'll be dropped in, but basically we know throughout the month we will have to be reading books for these 8 prompts, and I'm going to pick out some books for that. There's also, so each prompt, there's sightseeing prompts too, so once you completed the main one, there's like a few additional prompts you can do. We don't have those yet, so at that point I will be picking out different things to read. But we're going to start with specifically picking out books for these 8 legs. Also, my neighbor just started mowing his lawn, so hopefully you can't see that in the back, hear that in the background. I don't really have any other time that I can film this video, so unfortunately we're just gonna have to power through and really hope that it is not that present. So let's take a look at these 8 prompts and the books that I have loosely decided to associate with them. This definitely might change as the month goes on and might depend on what I currently have available or what I can more quickly read, depending on maybe the time I have, but I have thought of some ideas. So first prompt, book with more than one POV. I would like to do The Blood of Dragons by Robin Hobb. This is book 4 in the Rainwild Chronicles, which I've been reading for the last little bit. This also really perfectly will finish off a video that I am currently filming as well. So whenever that's done, it will be perfect for me to have this video ready to be posted. But basically this is book 4 in a series. If you don't know Robin Hobb, she has a really big world called the World of the Elderlings, and there are, I think, 5 interconnected series that take place across 16 books. And this is the 4th series within this world, and it takes place in my favorite part of this world, and so I am deeply loving this series. It is basically about the reappearance of dragons within this specific area and the people who are tasked with taking care of them and also learning their secrets. Book 4, I am so intensely excited to get to. Literally just finished book 3 today, and I gave that one 5 stars, so I'm ridiculously excited to continue this series. I have a very strong feeling it will also be 5 stars for me. Next prompt is a book that was recommended on BookTube, and I'm gonna go with Warrior Princess Assassin by Bridget Kemmerer. And I really wish I'd written down who recommended this, but I literally saw somebody last week talk about it in a book and talking about the fact that it's like a romantasy book. We're following some of the typical romantasy tropes, but it might go down more of a polyamory or throuple type of situation, which I'm really excited for. I would love to see that spin on a more classic romantasy type of book and just kind of see where it goes from there. So really excited for that. As soon as I saw this person talk about it, I immediately downloaded it on Kindle Unlimited. A book with a preposition in the title. I should have made sure before I'm talking right now, but I do think the word back is a preposition because I want to do And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison. It is their newest release in this like news station, radio station kind of romance. I will just say, as a background, I'm really bad with English grammar because I did school entirely in French until grade 11. So I never actually learned proper grammar rules and things like prepositions. I am trying to, like, I did look this up beforehand, and I'm pretty sure that back counts as one because I think a direction or a time is one, and back should fall under that. But basically, just for context, I don't really know any English grammar, and I don't know the words of certain types of grammar things. Like nouns, I think, are people, places, and things. And I think I only know that because I drilled it into my head to make sure I had that one right. So let's hope that this is a preposition. If it is not, feel free to make fun of me. But yeah, basically this is just a romance. I believe it is to do with two competing weather reporters. A book with a building on the cover. I'm gonna do Yesteryear, which is a trad wife who goes back in time and ends up having to live out this, like, the actual life that she is like shelling out online. There's a house on the cover, and I do have that checked out from Libby right now. My mom recently read it and she really enjoyed it. So I feel excited to get into it. I do think it is thrillery. That's typically what she reads, so that's why I think I'm going to enjoy it. But I'm hearing a lot of good things about it as well. Next, we have a book with a mental health wrap, and I am tentatively putting Forget Me Not, which I think is by Stacey Willingham, and it is a thriller where a woman's sister had disappeared a certain amount of years before, and then she has to return home, and it starts bringing up feelings and bringing up memories. Based on that, I kind of assume there is a little bit of mental health aspects in it, maybe a little PTSD. But again, we're going to say tentatively this is in that spot, because as I read it, I might discover that the mental health rep is not as prevalent as I think it is, in which case I'll just switch this up. But I think a lot of the times when there's thrillers where somebody is revisiting the past, typically there is some type of mental health representation in it. A book with an isolated setting, I'm gonna do Spread Me by Sarah Gailey. The description sounded a lot like, I think the movie is called The Thing, where basically in this one it seemed like a scientist visits an isolated research post and then gets infected with some kind of contagion. Basically, that was my very brief remembrance of what the synopsis is of this one. Again, this might be one that we have to switch up at some point, and I might have to pick a different prompt for it or a different book for it, just depending on how much that isolated setting actually takes place. But I'm excited. I'm in the mood for some weird horror, and this feels like it could potentially hit that mark. The next prompt is a book you don't own. I'm not going to set anything for this one because 95%, not even more than that, of my reading is entirely through Libby or Kindle Unlimited. I think on my physical TBR right now I have 12 books. So, pretty much all I read is through the library and stuff I don't own. So essentially anything I read this month could fit into that. And we're just gonna go very much, when this prompt rolls around, we are going to mood read something. Then the final prompt for the amazing readathon is a book that involves a holiday. And lo and behold, I have Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. Okay, so I guess I'm reading multiple by them this month. But I have that checked out on Libby. And it's Christmassy. Why not read it in June? Whatever, my reading tends to never be seasonal. But it's basically, I think, a woman is haunted by the ghost of Christmas spirit, something, and they end up falling in love. Is this really the time of year to read it? Who cares? Whatever. I specifically wanted to read it for another prompt within one of my reading challenges, and it finally checked out from Libby. It had been on hold for 8 months. We do what we can do. So again, those were my 8 prompts for the amazing readathon, and the books that I'll be reading for that, there will again be the sightseeing prompts that happen between each one of these legs, and I have no idea what I'll be reading for any of those. That will be very much spur of the moment and what I have time for. But I am excited to see. And the next readathon I'm doing in June is the Tarot Readathon. And this is hosted by Noelle, aka Noelle Sunday, and Deja from Deja's Book World. And it's again a competitive based readathon, but it is involved based on tarot cards. And what you do, you pull tarot cards, and each card, or each card has a corresponding prompt to it, and you basically read books corresponding to said prompt. There's a few other things going on. There's different, like, there's weekly challenges where if you read a book that is associated with said weekly prompt, you get extra points. There's also like self-care prompts throughout the month, and just a lot of fun things. This is, I think, my second time doing Tarot Readathon, and I'm excited. I'm excited to try it again. So I have not yet decided how I'm going to 100% structure keeping both of these readathons in place. I think I'm going to pull a certain amount of prompts at a time and then read books corresponding to that. And as they come up or are appropriate for the amazing readathon, I might submit there. To be decided. We will see. But what we're going to do right now is we're gonna pull, I think, 3 tarot cards from this deck and find out what prompts they correspond to, and then pick out some books that would work for it. So I'll be using my Lord of the Rings deck, which I was so excited when I found this one. I am a really big fan of tarot, so I like having, I have a few decks and I love finding ones with interesting artwork, and I think that this deck is just intensely beautiful. So on one side we have, it's kind of like the little Hobbiton houses, and then I'll just show a little bit like the Fool, the Magician, Judgment, the World. Just really, really pretty cards. So I will give this a shuffle. And I'm so excited at all times to have an excuse to bring out my tarot cards. Like, I don't do it often enough, and I really, really need to more. I used to like pretty regularly read my cards. It's been a bit of time since I've been in practice. So I'm going to randomly pull a few from the deck. So what's this? This is the 9 of Swords. Then right here is the Page of Cups. And okay, my storage actually just filled up. So we still have one more to pick, and here we go. This is the Queen of Swords. So we have our 3 cards, and let's see what these correspond to. So to start off, the Queen of Swords. This is read a book featuring a strong female character, a matriarchy, or women in power. So for this one, I'm gonna pick We Who Will Die by Stasia Stark. This is about a female warrior who enters, I think, these elite games to become a like warrior for the emperor of this world. And I do believe it is kind of like Roman inspired, just in these games that they compete in. I do think there's also vampires, but I know our female main character is a warrior. The Page of Cups next. This is read a whimsical or dreamy book. That immediately makes me think fantasy. I want to read some kind of whimsical fantasy book. Ooh, there's a new Sarah Beth Durst release, and I do believe I have that available to pick up at my library in town. It's called The Faraway Inn, and okay, so I think this is YA, but I'm assuming is whimsical. It's after her boyfriend cheats on her and ruins her summer. 16-year-old Kalisa escapes to rural Vermont to help her great aunt run the Faraway Inn, only to discover a rundown inn in need of repair, the groundkeeper's handsome son, and mysterious, almost otherworldly secrets lurking among its residents. Tentatively, I think that one should fit. And our final book is for the 9 of Swords, with read a book with mental health representation. So we already have one on the TBR, Forget Me Not. We're doubling this up. We are going to double up that prompt because 2 different readathons. That works. So 2 readathons have been discussed. Let's now go into the book club books I want to read. So my IRL book club, the one that I do with my friends, we are reading Divine Rivals this month. We read romantasy books and tend to just tear them apart. Happen to really like this book. I've read it before. Not unhappy to reread it. Honestly, I'm very, very pleased to be revisiting this world. So we're doing that. And then I'm going to be starting up a little bit of a book club on here where for now what we're going to do is every month I'm going to do a spoiler-filled vlog of a new sci-fi or fantasy release. We are going to be doing The Unicorn Hunter this month. It's coming out June 2026, and I'm really excited about this idea. So the goal is going to be every month, throughout the month at some point, we'll be reading said new release and then have a spoilery vlog up. We might change the format of this at some point, but for right now, that's kind of just what I want to do. I just feel like staying a little bit more on top of some new releases and chatting about them, but also this is going to be pretty open in that feel free to take part if you want to read it and let me know your thoughts. If you want to send me a DM and tell me anything, if you want to just read it and then watch the spoilery video and let me know how you feel free to do it however you would like. We're figuring this out right now, and at some point maybe I'll start up a Discord channel or something, but we're figuring out right now. We're just going to tentatively say that. But the very quick synopsis of this: with her country's future and her own life at stake, an orphan duchess must journey into a world of myth and there discover a power that may be her salvation or her demise. And this is by the author of the Winter Night trilogy and The Warm Hands of Ghosts. Both have loved. So I'm really, really excited to pick up a new release from her. Other reading plans for the month: I would like to do a bit more of a focus on Pride books at some point this month, and just books with LGBTQ plus representation. I'm sorry that I slightly butchered that. I just can't get letters straight in my head. I would like to at some point just put more of an emphasis on reading books related to Pride and with more representation in them. I have not decided yet how I'm going to do that, and I also have not set a TBR any plans. That will come at some point later on in the month. And then kind of like I mentioned, so I am doing a really big reading challenge right now, which is HRCYED, or the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. Round 2.0 is currently taking place, and it technically ends in the middle of July. I am likely not going to get it done in time, but I'm putting a really heavy emphasis on trying to finish this off before mid-August, maybe. We're gonna see how it goes, but really the next little bit, my entire focus is on finishing off this challenge. And if you follow my channel for any time, I have been doing reading vlogs where I'm reading books out of a TBR jar, which is basically corresponding to all the prompts I have outstanding, and then also doing focused videos on finishing off some of the prompts that also I have outstanding. So this month there will be a few focus videos. Right now the plan is to do random color generator chooses my books, so I'll be reading books that match said cover, or I'll be reading books whose cover matches said color. I'll be doing a video where I'm reading a series that get progressively bit longer. So one where there's single book, a standalone, a duology, trilogy, and then a book 4, and then a series with 4 books. A lot of these I've already read all the books. I just need to edit and post them. One where I'm reading the lowest rated books on my TBR, and those ones thankfully finished. But things that will also be coming are reading a book that was released for every month of the last year, and also I'll be reading a book set on every continent. So we do have a few things coming up, and I do already have books planned for those, but I'm not gonna really talk about them right now. That would be way too long. What I think I'll do is I'll pull 3 more prompts from here. So even though we're doing the weekly vlogs where I'm pulling different prompts and talking about them, let's pull 3 right now, and I'll read them in my own time. Maybe I'll discuss them in a vlog. Maybe not. We'll see. But let's just pull some. Honestly, mainly just because I like pulling prompts. That works. So this one, disability rep. So basically just we need to have some type of disability represented within the book, and it has to be a different disability read over 5 different books. Or the first book I read had characters with hearing difficulties, and that leaves me very broadly open to pretty much anything else at this point. I'm going to tentatively say that the book I'll pick for this is All's Well by Mona Awad. I do believe that the main character in the book has chronic pain, and I've been working my way through her books, so would be good to read that one. Then I'm just gonna pick prompts on the side. Okay, this one we're not going to put aside. It is Rainbow More Than 7 Colors. I am currently filming the random generator chooses my cover. So that one doesn't need to stay in here. Okay. Alphabet G. So this is just something that a book whose title starts with a G. And this is for a prompt where we had to pick our own personal challenge. For some reason, I decided the best move for me would be to do an alphabet challenge. Who knows why? Do I have anything? Okay, Graceless Heart by Isabel Ibanez. That works perfectly. She's the author of What the River Knows, which I enjoyed. Didn't love, but I did enjoy. So that one fits perfectly. And one more. Adaptations, a modern retelling of a classic. I don't know if this works, but Sarah El Arifi just came out with a book called Cleopatra. And could we tentatively say that, I mean, I know there is a Shakespeare play, which is Mark Antony and Cleopatra. I don't know what it's called. It might tentatively be that, but was Cleopatra, am I wrong in saying that she was present in the Iliad? Because if so, technically this is an adaptation of a classic. Otherwise, there are a fair amount of Greek retellings, and I think that would work. It's unfortunate that it's not like the original one that I picked, because I do want to reread the Odyssey at some point this year, but maybe I can find a retelling of it as well. So we'll tentatively say Cleopatra. I do think that should work, but we might have to find something else. All right, and with that is our June TBR. This is going to be, it felt like a fun month to do this just because there are quite a few goals that we're trying to hit this month and quite a bit of structure to my reading. So next month will be kind of similar. We're going to be having a lot of readathons, a lot of challenges, and a lot of things to complete. But let me know what you thought about this video, if you thought this was interesting at all, and if you would like to see me continue to do TBRs. So thank you for watching. Would love if you guys would consider subscribing.